Ooh. Hello, historical people. Wes here, talking about English longsword. Today, I'm going to go over Man That Will, lesson 3. And so lesson 3 basically, as it reads, something along the lines of spring, followed by a hauke quarter to the cheek, then 3 double rounds, then 1 more round, stepping in, and I think that's about it. Yeah, thereabouts. I'm working off a different translation here, but anyway, let me show you what that would look like with the sort of original idea of what we thought these things look like. So the spring we always thought was a single-handed dust, okay, and then as that comes back, I'm quartering down at the cheek, okay, then 3 double rounds, and then 1 more, just there, bang. I mean, the play would have gone something like that. However, the interpretation that I'm running through now, let me just actually read the title properly. The Scholarly Guide to the Works of George Silver, Part 3, by Gareth Pryor. Okay. Now, the reason I'm going through this is because he's actually broken down the language, studied a bunch of other sources, he's done all kinds of things, got like amazing glossary of the terms and stuff like that. But when he's done his breakdown of the third lesson of the Man That Will, Harley manuscript, when he's talking about the spring, it doesn't mention anything like that at all. Okay, what he suggests it being is more of an upwards. Well, he says the spring is the tension put onto the blade from like a parry, and what he's describing there is like a really strong upwards sort of parry displacement type of thing. 2 ways we could take that. Basically, it's coming from, again, I'm left-handed, so apologies in advance, but at least you can see this easier. To perform the spring in this instance, he wants us to come up, okay, and create this kind of tension, the spring tension on the opponent's blade. So we're springing up, and now whether this is a quarter to the cheek, like just a quick snap high up quarter to the cheek, that's what I would originally thought if this was a spring instead. Okay, just rise up, bang, following me, that guy. However, what Gareth puts in his translation, what I thought was really interesting, was for the hauke quarter down by the cheek, he thinks it goes something like this. So bang, and then I would send anti-clockwise, so that will be coming almost like one's Wirch angle, attack out like this, and to the cheek, meaning like your back. I thought, what the fuck? So without this bloody stick in the way, it'd mean I'd come up like that and then attack at the cheek somehow. Whether that's with just a normal strike, let me see. So if I did it from this side, something like that. I'm quartering, trying to attack the sort of hind legs. Thought it was dead weird. Okay, so I mean, I'm not fully convinced that that's what to do. Like, that seems a bit more natural. And also, you go on to then throw 3 double rounds. Now, whether 3 double rounds is 3 Zwitch type things, or whether it's 1, 2, 3, which again, silly, but whatever. I don't know, it seems weird coming up, down there. But then I suppose you could transition into that fairly easy. So, might not be terrible. But, do I need to crump on that? Maybe. So, maybe if I am really going to try and attack that hind leg, provided they're not already ran away from me, something like the crump how could work, or just sending an attack out like that. If I'm really trying to get around the back, which obviously we don't really do in HEMA anyway, but oh, come up, attack whatever, 1, 2, 3, and then on my fourth one, move it in. I think I moved to the wrong side there, but that's the idea. Now, the 3 double rounds part, whether that's 1, 2, 3, and then stepping in on the last one, ideally the step would look more like outwards. It does say move outwards. Or whether it'd look like that. I don't know. Either seems to work really. This workout type thing is obviously more common anyway, so if you just rather stick to things like that, stick to things like that. But yeah, so the whole play in this sort of new way would look like which is quite fruity really, it's quite weird. But thought I'd share that kind of interpretation. Like the whole spring moving away from that to that kind of rising block, that's that makes things very different. So again, I don't know, we do find that the spring is described as that kind of one-handed thrust, but also it's more described as the type of motion. Obviously we know how springs work. In the order where I train, we have a counter called the rise and surge, which comes up very similarly. Up, and then you have counters off of that, so whatever that might be, whether it's just a fucking chop or whee, my boy, he's did not put any weights in that. Oh well. We also have one called rise and surge. Sorry, we also have one called high roller, which does involve coming up into a hanger and then immediately going in there. So looking at this same play another way, let's just say that we use hanging guard all the time, pendant guard, whatever. Maybe the spring element is me forcing that in. So I'm coming from whatever normal guard I'm in, straight into that, and bang at the face cheek. Equally, it's not a bad way to throw something like that. So yeah, and if I think about what that play's building on, in a way, so I've countered, sending something out to stop your advance even more, then trying to build your sort of thoughts, thinking, oh shit, parry, and then step out and try and deliver the hit. So it's weird. It's weird. Again, multiple little cheeky options. I'll run through all 3 of the possibilities then. Well, all 3 of the main possibilities, obviously, make your variations where you want. But original, hashtag, spring, caught by the cheek, round, with a step in. Kind of rise and surge, attack to the butt. 1, 2, 3, in. Or some kind of crazy mixture of spring, caught to the cheek, round, and then in on the last one. There are a few options you could take there. Or of course, like we've mentioned kind of last, something more like that. Again, take these with a pinch of salt. The interpretations aren't fully clear and everyone's got their own opinions on them, but I thought that opinion was very different to what I've seen previously. So it's worth knowing about. Anyway, see what you think to that. Obviously, if you want to hear more English longsword nonsense from me, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And let's get on with lesson 4. See you in a bit.